historian, and about, what, 2 or 3 years inducted into the Blues Hall of Fame in Memphis, Tennessee. Please, ladies and gentlemen, a nice round of applause for Dick Shurman.
We're going to sit down. Thank you, Art, and thank all of you for waking up to come down here. I thought every day was Saturday on the cruise.
That's right.
And again, as Art said, hi to those of you in your cabins. There's still time for you to come down or make yourself comfortable and ready for the ride. This is going to be an easy one for the people up here today. We hope they've all been working hard all week, but what we thought we would just do is gather a few of the many excellent Chicago artists on the ship and give them each a few minutes to talk about history, what they're up to, and their take on the scene, and then they'll each do a tune with Ronnie Baker Brooks in his rhythm section. We figured that since Ronnie's only had his own sets, his sets with a legendary review with Tommy Castro, his jam night, and his generous participation, which was wonderful in the John Lee Hooker presentation yesterday, he wasn't working hard enough, so figured he'd need a little extra commitment to keep him out of trouble. So we appreciate Ronnie rising for the cause, and we've also got Nick Moss, Ann Harris, Billy Branch, Bill Morganfield, and Ronnie's rhythm section, Gerald Coots, Ari Sater, and Maurice Jones. So we'll be alternating talking and music. And I just wanted to get a couple short plugs in before we start. One is the first official press release about the Chicago Blues Festival came out Tuesday, and Blues Fest is going to be June 9 through 11, and it's moving one block this year. For those of you who go, it's going to be in Millennium Park this year rather than Grant Park. So it'll be a new look. They'll still have the same multiple stages. The Windy City Blues Society actually gets a mobile stage this year, so you may be able to see at that stage. And Billy is going to be the focal point for Friday. He's doing a 40th anniversary tribute to his band, which we'll talk about this morning. And Ronnie is going to be on the Bill Sunday night, opening for Gary Clark Jr. And I'm hoping that the other participants here will also be playing. The booking is still in progress, but we're hoping. So hopefully we'll see a lot of you there June 9 through 11 at the shiny new venue to see how the fest is with a fresh coat of paint on it this year. And I also wanted to mention the silent auction's a little off the beaten path this year, and it's up on deck 10, pretty much just above the Lido deck stage. It closes at 2. It's for a great cause. After the show here is over, you've still got a little over an hour to check that out and put your bids in before it closes at 2. So if you haven't taken a look, I hope you'll find it and see if there's something there that you can purchase either for yourself or to dazzle somebody you care about. So with that taken care of, let me call up our first subject of our interrogation this morning, who provided us with one of the most sentimental moments on the cruise this week yesterday, and that is Nick Moss. Good morning. First of all, I want to congratulate you on your 3 BMA nominations this year. And probably most of the audience knows that this is a turning point for the band this week. And like I say, very, very sentimental yesterday when you did your last show with Mike Ledbetter as a band member. And I will say, Mike and I talked yesterday, and he right away said he wouldn't be who he is without you and what you've taught him. And when he goes on and does what we all think he's going to do, a large part of it's going to be a tribute to what he learned from you and with you. So be proud, you're a daddy, you're official blues daddy.
Blues daddy.
Man, any band leader, any of these guys back here will tell you the same thing. Fellas, they come and go, and you just try to find someone that fits in, that's like-minded and is passionate about the music as you are. And some of them, you know, are young, like the guys I have in my band, and you nurture their talent and you point them in the right direction. And every now and then you get a gem like Michael, and that doesn't really, you know, the talent is there, the passion is there, and you just kind of point them in the right direction. You watch them kind of blossom and grow, and it's a cool thing. But you know, I was in that situation for many years, man. You know, and I played with Willie Smith, and Willie. I started as a bass player with Willie, and Willie made me a guitar player halfway through my tenure with him, and then he recommended me to Jimmy Rogers for a tour, which turned into 3.5 years. And Jimmy Rogers, and this is a song, this is a title cut from our latest CD called From the Root to the Fruit, and I did this CD where it's a double CD, and for those of you who are mathematically challenged, that's like myself, that's 2 CDs in one package. And one CD is very traditional, one CD is a little bit more modern. The idea was to show how blues music has influenced most of the great popular music that we have today. And this was the title cut, and it has absolutely nothing to do with that, what I just said. But it's kind of dirty. It's a true story. Maybe.
Nick Moss. Chicago Blues like that's worth about 10 cups of coffee in my world. So once again, thank you, Nick. I should also mention, Kate, are you up there? Kate is also an excellent graphic designer. She does all kinds of CD covers, and she designed this shirt. So multi-talented. Our next participant is somebody that most or all of you have seen either on this cruise or past cruises or land venues with Otis Taylor. If you haven't, you'll have a chance at 145 on the Seaview deck aft. And very busy lady. She sent me an extensive biography that I'll read in a minute. But you've also probably seen her in just about every blues magazine because she's very photogenic and also is involved in an exhibit of women in the blues, which I'll read you what she wrote me, and keep in mind she's left a lot of stuff out. This won't take too long, but what she sent me was, Ann has played and recorded with numerous blues and roots artists, including Anders Osborne, Amy Helm, Robbie Folks, Billy Branch, who's he, and Jefferson Starship. She's a member of the Otis Taylor Band and appears on his new CD due in February. In addition to being included in photographer B.D. Sandor's art book Showdown, a photo book of blues and roots artists worldwide, photographs of her have been featured in various exhibits in Poland and France, and currently are on display in the Women of the Blues exhibit at the National Blues Museum in St. Louis. Ann has her own original roots pop project, and I should add that her CD Come Hither was available at the CD table. If it's not sold out, I recommend you take a look. And is finishing an EP with alt blues and alt blues artist Marcus James that will be released late in the year. I've also enjoyed a band. So what was your path to Chicago and the blues scene?
It's been a winding road. I grew up in a little town called Yellow Springs, Ohio. It's a little hippie town. I've hugged a lot of trees in my time. And when I was 3 years old, my mother, and I don't remember this, but my mother took me to see the musical Fiddler on the Roof. And she said that I sat there in the beginning of that movie, if you've seen it, Isaac Stern, you know, one of the greatest violinists ever, is shown in silhouette on the rooftop playing the overture, beautiful score. And she said, I sat there and I said, Mommy, that's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. And I kept bugging her, and I don't remember that, but she said, you kept bugging me. And then she doesn't know how I heard this, but somehow I had heard of bars, and when I pictured bars, I pictured these gymnasium places where you could like swing around as a kid. You know, I didn't know what a bar was. And I started saying, I want to dance in bars. I want to dance in bars. So she quickly got me a violin. And so I started studying classical music when I was about 8, and I had a private instructor. And I studied for about 10 years. You know, about 8 years into it, after years of my violin teacher telling me, you need to not move as much. You need to stand still. You need to, you know, hold it this way and do, you know. And it was like, I loved the soul of the instrument. I loved it from the first moment I saw it on a screen, and I didn't know what it was. And I loved and heard the soul of the fiddle through many traditions, including, obviously, Celtic music has a rich fiddle tradition. The black early string bands, rich traditions there, and folk music. And that was what I started getting my ear around. Now, of course, all the pop traditions and the folk traditions like bluegrass and everything really came from the blues. So my path then led me to play in cover bands in Chicago to make a living, listening to a lot of stuff, trying to learn how guitars approach their sonic world, because I liked those approaches.
see some of you at the aft stage at 145. The next three of our artists had all toured together this past fall with Big Head Todd doing a tribute to Willie Dixon. And they came through, played a suburban theater near Chicago in early November, and my lady Nora, who's sitting in front, bought us tickets and checked the calendar, no conflict or anything like that. And the fateful night came around, and it turned out to be Game 7 of the World Series. So I actually got dispensation. So I have to confess I missed that one, but it was pretty rare. We usually don't have to worry about that one in early November in Chicago. But we'll get some taste of what they were doing together as we proceed. And I'll call up next a person who I've been knowing and hearing for over 40 years. And you all have enjoyed this cruise, many other cruises. Let's welcome Billy Branch to the hot seat. I always liked a line in Billy's version of Hoochie Coochie Man, which was, I came to Chicago in the summer of '69, didn't smoke no reefer, didn't drink no wine. When the summer was over, I was a changed man. Now I can turn up a bottle and they call me Reefer Dan. Kind of sums it up. Can you talk about you hitting Chicago in '69 and what you found there, including the Blues Festival?
Okay, that was a true story once upon a time. Yeah, but I was born in Chicago, and my family migrated to LA when I was about 4 years old. We came back to Penn University of Illinois in the summer of '69, and that was the year that I heard my very first live blues, and the date was August 30th. 1969. I know it because an article was written in Chicago Sun-Times, and it happened to be the date of the greatest blues festival ever produced in history. And I'll tell you what, I'll name a few of the names. Mud's Dad, Muddy Waters, Coco Taylor, Bo Diddley, Betty Everett, Big Walter Horton, Junior Wells, Buddy Guy, John Lee Hooker, and it was hosted by Willie Dixon. Wow. And this is the very first time I heard live blues, and to show you how hard the blues bug bit me, it was 7 years later I became Willie Dixon's harmonica player.
One of Billy's closest things to a coming out party was in early 1975, and that's when Chicago harp player and character Little Max Simmons had a harmonica battle. He was advertising a $500 prize. He had put out a 45 harmonica instrumental of Rainy Night in Georgia, and he would brag how he made the harp do something nobody else had do, playing country western. Well, maybe nobody ever told him about Charlie McCoy, but that's another story. But anyhow, so he had a contest down on the south side with Lonnie Brooks's band, actually, as the house band. And of course it was all rigged. Mac had no intention of giving $500 away. But the surprise hit of the night, to the point that people were complaining that it was a ripoff, that he didn't win, was this young, skinny young man in an afro and overalls who was pretty new to all of us. We all made a point of talking to him afterwards to find out who the heck he was. And that was the gentleman next to me. Can you talk about that night?
Well, it was a birthday. Come on, y'all.
appreciative of his immortal father. You've seen him tear it up on the ship with the Nighthawks. His last CD was recorded with Kim Wilson called For Pop. Let's welcome up front Bill Morganfield. Thank you for waking up for this. Well, let's talk about your re-emergence. What drew you to the blues to the extent that you dove in as deeply as you dived in the last decade or so with the recording?
I ran from the blues all my life. I mean, I had my dad. I mean, those are some big shoes to fill, man. But he caught up with me, that's all. Caught up with me.
Was there one pivotal event or occurrence that caused you to decide to focus on basically keeping your father's legacy alive and extending it?
Yeah, I think it was maybe 2007, 2008. Me and my mom, who was 85, was watching a tribute to my dad, and we were just me and her there watching it, and they had Dr. John there, Coco Taylor, Buddy Guy, you name it was there. A lot of you might remember Billy D. Williams hosted it. And me and my mom was sitting there, and we were listening to that and watching that program. And as sad as it may sound, really, it threw me into doing what I do. And we watched that program all the way to the bitter end. And we watched all the interviews. We even was watching the critics, and not one time did I see my name mentioned. Y'all ready?
Even that stump, you know we get it.
Yes, sir. I don't care. Play the blues here. Let me hear you, let me hear you. Don't care how long you long. Don't care how long you stay. 'Cause good times take minutes. I'll bring you home. But someday, you ain't no trouble. Oh, man, yeah, you just keep on that. Then the night is gonna pass. You're not dying. You are living too fast. But someday, baby, you ain't no trouble. Oh, man. Wait a minute. I'm gonna tell everybody in your neighborhood you are sweet little woman, but you don't mean me no good. But one day, baby, you ain't trouble. Oh, man. Oh, I'll see you tell me no, baby.
Thank him for providing the band to let's welcome the hardest working cruiser on the ship, Lurrie Bell. I think I've known Ronnie since he was about 12. It was the late 70s that word started getting around. I remember there was something on the TV news about Lonnie and his precocious young son who was learning how to play guitar, and obviously things have progressed a long way. It was great seeing Ronnie start playing with his father Waddy and being the band leader, taking more and more of a role in both the live stuff and the studio aspect of it too, and then going on his own. He's always been a great mix of progressive and traditional. He did a really nice job producing Eddie Clearwater's CD that came out in Alligator several years ago. And it's a real delight that he finally has a new CD after only 10 years. So it's called Times Have Changed, and it's available at the CD desk, as is the Big Head Todd Blues Club CD too, with Ronnie, Billy, and Mud on it. So can you talk a little about the genesis of the new CD, and also what was it like recording Bobby Bland's last studio appearance?
Yeah, well, I'm very happy that it's finally out. We actually started recording the CD in January of 2013, and I worked on it before that, before I even got to the producer, Steve Jordan. I worked on it and worked with Kev Mo writing songs, worked with Big Head Todd writing songs, and I'm just so happy that it's finally out now, that people can hear it, and they'll know when I'm messing up the songs now.
And how was the Bobby Bland thing? How did that come
man,
out?
it was like a dream, it was surreal, really. We were in Memphis at Royal Studios in Memphis, and he brought his family down, Rod Bland and his wife, Willie Mae, and as soon as he walked in the door, it was like school was in session. He started talking about how he started, how he got his style, and then he jumped on me a little bit.